everybody. Welcome to the Great March for Climate Action. I know you're as excited as I am to be participating in this wondrous adventure. My name is Miriam, and I am officially your packing wizard. I think some of you probably had a lot of backpacking experience and camping, and you probably know as much about this as I do, but I'm going to offer what I know and you find your own way. I want to let you know there are 2 packing lists online under March and packing. One of them is a kind of a brief list. I really encourage you to take the link to go to the more detailed list, which I prepared. It will give you all kinds of information and tell you what's essential. So, all my years of wilderness canoeing, bicycle camping, and backpacking are paying off here and now for us. Welcome aboard. So, you see before you, first of all, I am the official go-to person for your packing and questions about what to take. And at the end of this video, you will get my email address. So when you send me an email asking me a question about what to take or equipment or so forth, put Marcher in the subject line so I will get right back to you as soon as I can. All right, you see before you everything that I am taking on this 3,000-mile walk across the country. This is my camping pack, this is my personal pack, and this is my day pack. We're going to go through those one at a time. I'm not going to go through every detail of every item because you can find that on the packing list. But what I will do is explain some things to you that I think might be useful. Here's bag number 1. It's actually a Duluth pack, which is the kind of bag you use when you go wilderness canoeing, like I often do up in northern Minnesota in the Boundary Waters. It holds a lot, it's soft-sided. Please do not bring any suitcase or hard-sided bags. They will be crushed and it will be no good. Soft-sided bags, duffel bags, or this Duluth pack or something similar. I am sitting upon a camping chair. It's the best one made. They pack up, you can fold them, put them down in the edge of your pack, easy to pack. They open up, give you a backrest. I really recommend that you get one of these. These are my trekking poles. My chiropractor suggested that I take them along. I put tennis balls on the bottom so they don't poke a hole in the bottom of my pack. I'll use them when I need them. Plastic. Big, heavy-duty plastic garbage bags. Throw them into your camping bag because when it gets wet, you're going to want to put your gear in them inside your tent. This is my camping pillow. It folds all up into a little tight little bundle if I wish to do that. Make sure you bring a pillow that works for you. You can fold up clothes and put them under your head for a pillow, but make sure you've got something you can live with for 246 days. And I suggest you bring one of these to sleep in on cold nights inside your sleeping bag. This bag contains more plastic bags, a camp sheet, and a fleece blanket. Fleece blanket is on the packing list. That's for sleeping on top of your sleeping bag if you don't need that much warmth or for additional warmth on chilly nights. This is a sleep sheet. You can make one of these. You can buy them online or at a camping gear store, or you can make one by taking a twin sheet and just sewing around 2 of the edges, fold it, sew it down so you can crawl into it. Also good for cooler, warmer nights when you don't need your sleeping bag. But also, the main thing for a sleep sheet is after 8 months in your sleeping bag, it's going to be grungy to the max. This can be washed. This is a wonderful camp lantern that was given to me by my brother for this trip. It's an LED light, doesn't use a lot of electricity. It's very functional, flashlight on that side. and I can hang it in the top of my tent. It also has, yay, a battery charger right built in. Or you can recharge the batteries the other way. So some kind of camp lantern in your tent for reading and whatever in the evening will be very useful. And this bag, I'm not going to take it out, is called a footprint that goes underneath my tent, which I'm going to talk about next. You can buy them commercially or you can make one out of a sheet of plastic cut to the size of your tent. Keep in mind that when it's raining, you do not want the edge of the plastic to stick out from under the tent. It has to be underneath, so make the footprint a little bit smaller than the bottom of your tent. Word about tents. This is my Old Faithful 3-person dome tent. Bring a tent that is self-supporting, self-standing. And if you're one person, please don't bring a solo tent. You will be unhappy. You won't have room for your gear and you won't have enough space. So if you're one person, bring a 2 or 3-person tent, and 2 people, at least a 3-person tent. Make sure you have a good tent fly, rain fly on your tent. And there's something called seam sealer, which I suggest you go over the seams with before we start on our journey. This is maybe, just maybe, the most valuable thing I got for my trip. I used to have a little thin Thermarest mattress that I used for years on backpacking trips, but I knew that wasn't going to work for 8 months sleeping on the ground. I'm 71 years old, no thank you. So I went to REI, I found this wonderful mattress that's self-inflating and comfortable. I've already tested it, it's almost as good as my bed. It cost me $100, but it was well worth it. And this is my sleeping bag, which is probably 35 or 40 years old, but still works great. I bought a compression bag for it so it won't take up so much space in my pack. Make sure your sleeping bag is good down to 20 degrees. So that's the camping gear. We're now going to go through my personal bag, my personal duffel bag. Yours will be different, but I'm going to show you how I pack things. First of all, this is the dorkiest hat on the planet, but my dermatologist wanted to make sure that I was fully protected. I'm taking sunscreen, of course, but this is additional protection. So when you see me on the march, you'll notice my hat. I'm also taking this one for days when I don't feel like wearing the dorky one. I love my coffee in the morning, and I'm assuming we'll have a way to do that. I'm taking my favorite coffee mug, unbreakable, lightweight, easy to carry. It'll be one of those comfort things on the trip. My vitamins don't need to be in plastic. They won't get wet. This is called a dry bag. A dry bag is made actually for kayaking and canoeing and rafting and so forth. But on this trip, it's going to keep essential things like my fleece, my gloves, my stocking cap, things that I will definitely need to have to keep warm with in cool weather. They will stay perfectly dry in that. Shoes. I'm wearing my new Asics, which I have been trying out on my training marches, walks. Took them to my podiatrist. I've been getting a lot of professional assistance with this, you can notice. And they told me the ones that I had were not big enough, so I took them back and got bigger ones. Our feet will get bigger on this trip, so keep that in mind when you're buying shoes. Great pair of hiking Keens, my favorite kind of shoes. Low tops, we don't need high tops, it's just extra weight. I love my Keen sandals and some flip-flops for around camp. Find the shoes that work for you, try them out, make sure they work before you bring them along. Toiletries, miscellaneous, I don't know if I'm going to bring all that, but I threw it in there just to show you. Organized. Okay, part of the organization of this is color. Ta-da! 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 The gray one, the tan one, is my first aid kit. I have used this for years when I go into the wilderness. It's got everything you can imagine for any kind of medical emergency except perhaps an operating emergency room. Find things online on the packing list that you will need and use what you know about yourself to determine the rest. This I call my kitchen sink or a wash-up bag. In it, I have this, which is called Wilderness Wash. You can probably find it online or at your camping gear store. It is indispensable on this trip because you can use it to wash your hair, wash your body, wash your dishes, wash your clothes, and it's totally biodegradable. And it's very concentrated, so this is going to last a long time. The other things in my washing bag are my camp towel, which I've also been using for years. It's small, it's lightweight, it dries quickly, and it's just as effective as a big, fancy, heavy terry cloth towel, which you do not want to bring. These are readily available online as well. I'm not sure why this is in with my wash-up stuff, but it's a spork. A spoon on one end, a fork on the other, and a little cutting edge for a knife. I will have my own silverware right here the whole way. And that's going to go in my kitchen bag. This is called a kitchen sink. It fits into here. Fill it with water, and I have a nice wash basin for whatever purpose I need. Washing a sponge bath. Not going to get many showers on this trip. Washing out clothes, washing whatever needs washing. And it is very compact and easy to carry. Or you can bring one of these, which is not nearly as costly. Put it in your duffel bag. Put things in it as you travel. And then when you need to use it for a wash basin, dump it out. Water in it, and you're set to go. And while I'm talking about what was in here, I don't have anything in this, but these can be had for $1 or so at a dollar store and will be invaluable for packing things you might be concerned about getting squashed or broken. I bought a wonderful solar powered battery charger that I am taking in one of these. If you have anything that looks like this, which I have used many times for biking, please bring it. Or brightly colored jackets or clothes. As many of us as can wear this sort of thing as possible will help keep us all safer. Moleskin. Anybody who has ever done much hiking and backpacking knows the value of moleskin. You put it on your foot on places that you might be getting a hot spot or where you think you might in the future, and it prevents blisters and nasty things happening. So bring some moleskin. This, believe it or not, is an invaluable camping and trekking tool as well. It's Gorilla Glue. Now, you probably can't see it, but on my very left thumb I have a little cut, and it wasn't healing because I kept putting it in water. My dermatologist told me to take this along and use it for cracks in my heels, for cuts in my fingers. I put some on there right now, keeps the water out, in a few days it's healed, and eventually the glue wears off. So bring some Gorilla Glue. This stuff is called Body Glide. It's an anti-chafe cream. It rolls on like a roll-on deodorant. It's to prevent rubbing and chafing on parts of your body where you might otherwise have trouble. It's very effective. It doesn't heal it after the fact. It's a preventative. And please bring something like this. I use this all the time. I keep it in my purse anytime I run into the grocery store. I have my own bag. I don't have to use one of those horrible plastic bags that we're trying to get rid of. We will be going through towns And you can carry that in to wherever you're going to pick up supplies and take your own bag back to camp with you instead of taking a plastic bag. In truth, you bring a plastic bag back to camp, we may boot you out of lunch. I don't mean that, but please bring one of these. Okay, clothing. This is my clothing bag, heavy duty plastic to keep it dry, even though it's going to be in my duffel bag. The packing list will tell you what to bring, suggestions. What I want you to notice here, I'm not going to open it, but I have rolled all my clothes and put a rubber band around each piece. That does several things. It keeps it organized. If I have to dig through to find something, it doesn't end up a big mess. And if something is in here with the rubber band removed, I realize that it's not clean anymore. So, clothing and other stuff all goes in my personal bag. My trusty day bag. I'm using this even though it's a little big because I have it and I like it. So, what am I going to carry in my day bag? Well, first and foremost, pink bag. This is the new rain suit, my biggest investment. A Marmot, top notch. I really invested in this because I personally want to stay warm and dry. Do not count on a poncho to keep you dry. I strongly recommend you use some kind of a rain suit. Maybe you can get one at a military surplus store. A poncho blows in the wind, it drips down onto your legs, it will not do the trick. So, rain suit it is. And I'm taking an umbrella for those little showers when I don't need the whole rain suit. You will need a diary for personal notes, for writing down people's information, for reminding yourself of things. Bring a little diary. And this has been with me on all my backpacking trips forever. It's my little kitty hole bag. Now, before I tell you about this is only in the most dire emergency. There will be stops for us along the way where we can use the porta potties or regular restrooms if they're available. This is for an emergency. And for those of you who've never used it, here's how it works. You dig a hole away from the road, away from where anybody can see you. You make your deposit. Toilet paper, washing wipes, which you will put in a sealed bag and take with you. You do not bury them with the organic matter in the hole. The only thing you leave there is biodegradable. Cover up the hole and be on your way. Now hopefully you won't ever have to use that, or maybe once or twice in 8 months, but it's important to have it. This is among the most essential items that you will bring. And I'm bringing 2 of them. We will be encountering gnats and flies and mosquitoes, and these are the trick. They're very cheap. In case you lose one, bring 2. Here's a little handy thing I can stick in my belt to put things like lip chapstick and so forth during my day hikes. Very handy, or money, or whatever I need. This is great for walking around camp at night. You don't have to carry a flashlight. You sit and use it in your tent to read, whatever. Optional item, but nice to have. I have a second first aid kit. This is one the National Park Service gave to me when I volunteered at a park in New Mexico a few years ago. It's got things that I might need during the day when my regular first aid kit isn't available to me because it's in the pack that's on the truck. And this, oh my goodness, this is a solar charger, which I can hook on the back of my pack when I hike during the day, and at night I can plug my phone or whatever into this and recharge it. You don't have to have one of these. There will be a recharging facility available, but I wanted my own just because I did. Okay, I'm taking this day pack. You could use a fanny pack if you don't want to carry that much. You can, but if you do that, make sure it's got something that will carry your water bottle. Let's talk about water. This is what I plan to use. It's called a bladder, and they come in different sizes and shapes. This is a pretty good one. I slip that into my backpack. The hose from which I drink is out there. It's available to me all day long. Now, because I don't want to carry fruit juice or anything else in my bladder which would ruin it, I also will have this in my day pack, which can carry any kind of liquid and easily be washed out. A nice little water bottle. This probably won't be enough water during the day when we're hiking in hot weather across the Midwest, so I will have both. This is a fancy Camelback. It's a backpack. It holds a lot and works in the same principle as the bladder. The problem is you can't wear this and a backpack because they both work the same way. So if you wear a fanny pack, you could use one of these. I won't be bringing this because I think the bladder will work better for me, but you need to know these are available. If you have one and you can figure out a way to use it, go for it. I think that's about it. We're ready to rumble. I have a closing remark for you. And this is on the detailed packing list if you want to reread it at some point. So, please leave behind your inner grump, judgments, criticisms, the need to be right, one of my favorites, the belief that you know everything, impatience, and the tendency to let someone else do it. Please bring your passion for saving the environment and turning around climate disruption. Enthusiasm, confidence, determination, lots and lots. Patience, gobs. Willingness to help, tons. Ability to listen to others' points of view and compromise as needed. Cheery disposition, most of the time. A welcome smile and assistance for newcomers en route. And the absolute belief that we can do this.